morning on a Sunday. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. This used to be one of my favorite days on the calendar, and it's now become a day with a funny taste in my mouth. A lot of my icons are gone. But now thinking about it, some do remain. And for those ones, happy Father's Day. I have some incredible men in my life. I've been a very blessed. So that's what we're going to do. I'll tell you my story on authority. I've been a girl who has gone through quite a process. Not too long ago, I had an interview panel. And that interview panel, about 3 events actually in the last year or so, that I have had conversations with a panel. Actually, now that I mention it, more than that, it was started from my Viva. My Viva in July last year. And it was a thing I wanted. It was a thing I had worked for. And to be honest, I was expecting my Viva to be bloody. I'd always told you guys my Viva was going to be bloody because I was a scientist and I had come to do a doctorate in social science. I came with attitude issues, and as usual, my superiority around quantitative data and my disrespect for qualitative data was expressed naively when I first arrived on the course. Well, that also triggered people's issues around that stupid superiority that positivists have. And so I always found myself on the bleeding end in my reviews, the annual reviews. Anytime I felt that I've met a panel, it was bloody. But when I finally came to my Viva, especially knowing it's inspection, I have found myself facing inspection panel. I have met interview panels of all kinds, and I have discovered something about myself. I am now exactly what I had been trying to become for a long time. I am cool, calm, collected, unshakable. Something I wanted to be in my youth, and I tried so hard to be, and I'm reflecting in the process of becoming, because I have become this thing, and I have walked the whole process of becoming this thing. And now I can reflect on the process of becoming and draw some parallels, and hopefully it will help those of you who are on that becoming journey, whatever you are becoming, to understand the journey. And I hope that understand the journey brings you calm nerves and helps you remain unrattled. Suleiman, how you doing? Happy Father's Day to all of you who play that beautiful role for young people. Anyway, in the process of becoming, whilst I was reflecting on what I have become, it takes me back to decades ago when I was attempting to become, when I wanted to be cool, calm, collected, unshakable, sleek, ready to go, to manage whatever happens and to command conversations. That's what I wanted. Oh, they have a fan. Ooh, I like it. This is a company I've been looking for. Anyway, I wanted to be the kind of person who commanded conversations. I did. But in the beginning, I did not have any command over no conversations. I did not. I found myself reactive and responsive, and I found myself dominated in conversations, especially at interviews. And I disliked it. And I tried so hard to become this cool, calm, collected, unshakable woman, and it did not work. So at some point, I found myself in the early stages of wanting to become anything. You usurp, you fake it. Your knees will be shaking, but you will square your shoulders and look confident. Yeah. Happy Father's Day, Abigail. How you doing, sis? Yeah. I will square my shoulders and I will come screaming yeehaw. But the truth of the matter is that I will be peeing my pants whilst I am screaming yeehaw. Peeing my pants. Because that's what happens in the early stages of any journey of becoming. You have not become, you are not. So you cannot behave as if you are. Well, you can only pretend to be like you are when you are not. And yeah, when you are not, it would always be visible that you are not. And so fake it till you make it will become a theme. You will have to fake it a lot. And it was a thing that actually messed with my head because I did not like the notion of faking. I wanted to be. I was committed to actually becoming. But then I caught myself needing to fake. And I felt fake. It hit my self-esteem. How I wish I understood at that time that that's an inevitable stage. There's nothing you can do about it. Until you become, on the journey to become, you will have to fake it. You will have to watch those who are, pick up how they behave and attempt to mimic. There's a lot of mimicry. There is mimicry because you are not it. You are not it. And it should not really affect your self-esteem. It is the natural process that you can't do anything about. The problem I had was I did not know this. And so Thomas, instead of me going through the natural process in peace, I found myself struggling through a process of questioning, an identity crisis almost. And now I've just realized this is all I wanted to become. Right now that I am it is effortless. You don't have to do much. It happens. The first thing I referenced, fairly recent, of an interview I was having, and everything that could possibly go wrong that day went wrong. I actually logged on 5 minutes late. But I was in conversation with these guys. I logged on in the midst of absolute chaos. And I was comfortable enough to let the panel hear the chaos. I'm like, hey everyone, I'm so sorry. As you can hear, everything that can go wrong has. And at the moment, this is where I'm at. Whilst I am introducing myself, I am going to attempt to find a more suitable position, and I did. On my way, interruption galore, interruption after interruption. But I was so decisive. There was somebody who normally would have had me cowering, giving up, maybe even ending this. No, I did not. I just stayed very calm, very cool, very collected. And one of the panelists says to me, you know, the way you are handling this tells a lot about your character. And I smiled. Yes, I have been through the mill. I have been through the fire. I am a knife. I have been beaten. I have been scratched in the effort to flatten me and to taper me and to sharpen me and to polish me. I have been through the process of making in order to become. And so now as a knife, I can cut. I can do things that knives do. I can look pretty because I'm polished. But the process of getting there is not. So for those of you, wherever you are in life, some of you may be becoming something for the first time, or some of you were something else and you are becoming something else. Every time you go on any journey to become something new, there are some inevitable processes, and I want to share that with you. At the moment in teaching, I can walk into any teaching situation and I can do so. I am a teacher. I've been doing it for a long time. I became a teacher many decades ago, and now it's a second nature. Don't need to think about it. I remember the first time I got a promotion. Actually, no, the first time I got a proper promotion, so I was not working under anybody. I was the strategic lead. I was making the operational decisions. I had such a crisis of confidence, which surprised me. Again, I am a very confident person, but I found myself questioning my decisions. I found myself wondering, can I do it? Oh my God, hey, oh. And now thinking back, yes, I was now on a journey to become a full-fledged leader. A leader not hiding behind anybody. Not anybody's operational leader, but an actual outright strategic lead. And yes, I asked myself many times, do I know what I'm doing? Do I know what I'm doing? Am I doing the right thing? Should I be considering something else? Hey, hey, hoo, ha, ha. So this is what I want to share with you this morning. Whenever you start any process of becoming, stage 1 is fear. Pure, blinding fear of what it is you are attempting to do. When you first realize what you are attempting to do, the gravity of the situation hits you and you quake, you fear. Then you question, am I able to do this? Am I good enough to do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? I'm attempting to make some changes in aspects of my life. And I caught myself very recently wondering whether I can do, and then in the middle of it I just realized what the process was and I laughed. And I told myself, of course I can. I have done many times. Yeah, I've not done this particular one, but I've done so many new things and I have conquered so many things. Of course I can do it. Yeah, we're going to have to be patient, we're going to have to learn, we've got to allow the natural processes to work. But yeah, my realization of the process of becoming has really helped me to stay calm when I am undergoing new processes of change. That's what I want to bless you with today, with this word. I want you to recognize the natural process, to know the inevitability of the stages, to accept that that's how it's going to be, it will be what it will be, and to relinquish control to that which you can do nothing about, and to let processes be authentically, and remain calm, cool, and collected whilst mayhem ensues. Because the process of change, the process of growth, the process of becoming has episodes of pure mayhem. Fear is the first one that hits you. Realization that you are inadequate, because you are actually inadequate. At that time, you have not become what is required to do that which you want. So you realize that you are incapable of habits in the bag because you don't. And realizing that you don't have it in the bag is humbling in a very unique way. Incredibly humbling. It is that humility to say, hey, I've not done this before. Hey, I will go to such a place for help. Hey, I will be patient and I will acknowledge. Sorry about that, I'm on the highway, so you know, these things happen. Anyway, as I was saying, until you become, there is a scary point in the process where you have to look yourself in the eye and admit that you are not good enough. That is awful. So you may have been given a supervisory position, a managerial position, and you will discover that you do not have the tools to manage. You lack the tools to supervise. You lack the tools to be effective in what it is you are doing. That is humbling. And for most of us who have not come to a recognition of what the process is naturally, it can knock your self-esteem. You may read your temporary inadequacy as a permanent thing. And if you mistakenly read a temporary inevitable inadequacy as a permanent thing, it will go straight to your self-evaluation, and it will affect the way you see self and the value you place on self. And that's why it knocks your self-confidence. I've seen new managers, especially in teaching, they are promoted to a group head, and for the very first time there are 3 levels of leadership, and somebody really needs to be kind to you and share these things with you, and you need to be clear of those things. And when you understand this with clarity, it helps. There are certain things that you need to learn, certain capacities you need to build in order to lead yourself. There are about 5 components of self-leadership, and most of us will go through life and will figure out these things, and we will learn these components to lead self. So many of us, the competent ones anyway, learn to be able to lead self. When you are moving from self-leadership into group leadership, into team leadership, somebody else needs to tell you of the new components and hence the new requirements, which you have never done before, you have no experience of, and so you are unprepared for. And if nobody tells you that, and you take your efficient self-leadership and you bring the same thing into group leadership, team leadership, pack leadership, woo! You are in for a surprise. You will do certain things wrong, and so the people you are managing will rebel. You will deal with rebellion because you have not picked up the core element of leading others. Getting buy-in of your leadership is stage number 1. Getting the people you are here to lead to know that you are competent to lead. You are capable of leading, and you have got the ethical components to help you do so in the right way. Maui, how you doing, sis? But being able to do that requires a very new set of skills that you will not have the first time you come to leadership. So somebody needs to be very kind and give you leadership training. Hello. Fatmatu, how you doing, sis? Somebody needs to be kind enough to tell you these things so that you can know these things and you can bear these things in mind in your journey to become. You start with fear and confusion, and then you start with realization and recognition of your inadequacies. You do. And then the next stage is to actually go through a whole aggressive process of attempting. Is this not the one? I don't want petrol. I gave to the wrong one. I just want coffee and hash browns. Yeah, Mam Dufi, how you doing, sis? Yeah. And there is a process of trial and error. You may subject yourself, keep saying, you may subject yourself to leaders who have got blueprints. They may even give you blueprints. You may subject yourself to mentors whose guidance may be useful and whatnot. But you will have to go through your own process of trial and error. You've got to try things, and then you will see what works for you in your specific dispensation. And you will find some good things that were supposed to work really well that just don't work. There are some things that are related to your personality and how you can carry things off. There are some personalities that can suit certain leadership styles, and there are some personalities that just conflict with particular leadership styles. So although your mentor or the blueprint gives you a leadership style that is supposed to be effective, you may well find that it just doesn't work with your personality. It doesn't. And those truths will have to be discovered as you navigate. You will find what works and what doesn't work. And then eventually, through this process of humble trial and error, commitment to trying new things, ditching what doesn't work, and pursuing new things until you find what works, eventually you will get to your threshold and you will find that you are capable. You've got capacity. And that's when you start seeing evidence of you being enough, evidence of you being adequate. You will eventually begin to see yourself as adequate. Yeah? Idoko. That's where you will begin to see yourself as adequate. You will begin to see yourself as competent. And you will boost your own esteem because you will find evidence for yourself that shows that you are good enough to do what you do. I find myself in a very interesting space in my life. There are many aspects of my life where I am already competent and I'm very comfortable. Sweet Chloe, how are you doing? Solo, I am already competent. I'm very confident. I have become. There is not a shadow of a doubt about my ability and capacity to do certain things, especially the things that I've been doing for a long time. I know I can do them and I know I can excel at doing them. No shadow of a doubt there. And then, just as life will have it, the way my life is, my career, I want to make a change in my career. I want to go into higher education. I've been in secondary education all along. Higher education is a whole different kettle of fish. I want to look at corporate training. I want to go corporate, and going corporate is something I have never been. These things, I was talking to a fellow instructor on a program that we have both been signed on to, and we are secondary school teachers. We don't have TAs, but for this project we do have TAs. And the person says, your TA has been with the program more than 10 years and he sounded so confident. Aren't you worried? And I'm like, no. Oh, no. Now I have grown and I understand the process of becoming so much that I do not have a problem in admitting. So in that briefing, they asked everybody to introduce themselves. And the first thing I said is, this is me. This is my background. This whole thing is so brand new to me. I need all of you to treat me with kid gloves. And my TA was the first person who laughed. And the person says, well, were you not concerned that he may look down on you? No, he is the TA and I'm the instructor. There's a reason why he is the TA and I am the instructor. I am new. I am unfamiliar. I would need to get to speed, and actually I would need the TA to share his experience and expertise with me and help me to understand the institutional practices and routines in order to be able to do that which I am competent and capable of doing. I got my job fair and square. So no, I am not cowering to a TA. My friend said, oh, that's a new way to think about it. But yeah, the reason why I am able to think about it in this new way is because I am aware of the process of becoming and its implications, of the journey towards becoming. And I hope that this calm that I get from understanding is something I can share with some of you who watch this feed today. How many of you have attempted to become or are on the process of becoming? And you find yourself in the process of becoming. The best explanation that I come up with is when you are something beautiful like a knife made by a blacksmith. A blacksmith shapes metal. Metals are tough, they are hard, they are difficult to change. So the first stage of working with metal for a smith is to put it in fire, to let the fire break some of the bonds and make the metal malleable, make the metal moldable. You have to go to fire. So So the first thing a blacksmith does is put you in fire. After you have been in fire and you are soft enough, the next thing they need to do is to beat you into shape. They must hammer you. You go to the anvil and the hammer strikes, and they must beat you into the wanted shape. At some point, you will be ground. There's grinding to refine your shape and your outline. And even when all that is done, you have to be polished. That's the process of becoming. You cannot become if you are afraid of the fire. There's no point in crying when you are in the fire, because it is a necessary stage for what you want at the end, isn't it? So now, when I'm getting ready for the fire, in fact, I am jumping in the fire myself. I know the fire is necessary. I require it to become what I want to become. I am in the fire before the smith is ready. I roll my neck ready for the hammering because I want to become. Yeah, Bilal, I am ready. I'm asking for it. I want to become. Yeah, you guys, I love you to bits, but I've just realized I don't know exactly where I'm going, so it needs to be that I go and follow the sat nav. I will see you guys on the drive back in maybe 2 hours time.